What's up, everybody? Pat here again. Grateful, recovering alcoholic and addict. Just like every other day, I always say. How is everybody today? Hope everybody's having a good day. It was actually pretty beautiful out here today. I got a chance to go take a nice little walk out of Fresh Pond and do a meditation out in nature. It felt really nice, actually. I can't say enough about meditation, guys. It's my new hobby, and I mean honestly, I tried it in the past and didn't get anything out of it. I just think I wasn't in the right place for it. But I highly recommend anybody who has any interest in it trying it. It's amazing. Guys, please like, subscribe, share these videos to anybody you think might help. I really appreciate your support. I love all you guys for being here with me. Thank you so much for viewing the channel and helping me grow this thing. It means the world to me. It really does. And we're gonna try and keep growing it and maybe elaborating. And anybody any topics you guys might be interested, please feel free to leave in the comments. I'll look into anything. Any resources I can help you find in recovery, by all means, ask a question. I'll see what I can do. Anything I can do. That's what I'm here to help, guys. This is what I dedicated my life to, is being of service to my brothers and sisters. It's you guys all are. We're all brothers and sisters here, guys. So let's look out for each other. And anything I can do, I'm more than happy to. It's literally why I'm doing this. So today, the title is going to be Triumph and Continuous Growth, okay? Because that's what my life is about today. And I'm going to talk about a little bit about how I got here and steps you may need to take if you really want to achieve and receive what I've achieved and what I'm receiving, which is literally a whole new life, guys. And it's second to none. I literally get to pick and choose what I want to do, and I have a wide open slate and open doors. I can literally not take things that are beneath me, and I'm no longer held to a fire, and I don't have to make a quick reaction to go take the first thing I can because I got to go support a habit, right? And I talked about yesterday. I had the opportunity to go out to speak at a women's halfway house last night in AA, and it felt great. Right? Really felt good. I enjoy being of service. But let's talk about these steps. So the steps to triumph and continuous growth. And I say this all the time, guys. First thing you got to do is find your higher power. I choose to call mine God, call yours whatever you want, whatever works for you. Because we're not alone. You can't be alone in this thing. You've got to have support. Now, it starts with a higher power, and if it's an addiction-related thing, if you're working on your life, regardless, you got to find your higher power. If it's an addiction, alcohol-related thing, you got to get into a program, right? You know this. Anyway, I feel like I'm born again because I was given a new life, right? And I was able to be given a new life because I was willing to put my old life to death. And that's what you got to do sometimes, guys. If you want things to get better, you got to be willing to make changes, right? I mean, it's common sense. Well, in order to obtain this amazing, abundant, prosperous, faith-filled, joy-filled new life, that is exactly what I had to do. I had to put my old life to death. And it sounds like such a huge deal, right? But honestly, when you think about it, if you're miserable and you're struggling and every day is a struggle and you're pushing a rock up a hill, putting that life to death to start a new one is a very small life price to pay, guys. It really is. I mean, it involves a little bit of work, and it's not always easy work, right? And particularly in the beginning, the hardest steps are the first steps. That's true with any endeavor, guys. You know that. Anything you do new, there's always that fear and anxiety. But when you lean on your higher power and you get into prayer and meditation, there's no such thing as fear and anxiety anymore. I fear nothing. I'm not anxious about anything. I'm filled with hope and joy and love for every experience. Like when you get to the point where you get to where I am at, you understand even the stresses and the challenges you face in life are literally just opportunities to grow and expand your world and expand your strength and your resiliency. It's everything's working for you, not against you. And when you understand that, life changes drastically, right? So continue on. So if you're struggling, you're wounded, you're full of anger, fear, resentment, anxiety, any of these things, are terrible. If you're not reaching your potential, you can completely reverse this immediately. You really can, but it's gonna require you putting that version of you to death. And again, it sounds super dramatic. You're not committing suicide here, people, but you're putting the version of you that carries these wounds, these hurts, these resentments, the fear, the anxiety. You got to put it to death. You got to adopt a new strategy, a new mindset, and I told you do that. It starts. There's many avenues, but again, the most, the quickest and most powerful one I find was finding my higher power, praying on it, and then getting insightful and looking at the things that made me act the way that I react the way that I reacted, and then changing those things, changing the outside stimulants, removing the negative outside stimulants, and finding things that actually align with who I am, and activities that align with who I am, and like-minded people around me. And that's what I'm doing now. Is I'm filling my slate with things that fill me up, that pour into my cup, right? So, like I said, you got to put it to death. You can't climb to where you want to be carrying the weight of the wounds and the resentments and the fear and the anxiety, everything else that you're carrying on your shoulders. I call it the 800-pound gorilla that I removed from my back, right? It's so much easier to walk and climb a hill when you don't have an 800-pound gorilla on your back. Just common sense, guys, right? And that's what I mean by putting your old life to death. So, it sounds a little bit scary, but it's not, guys. It's liberating, it's freeing, it's beautiful. It comes with a brand new day, a clean slate. Absolute zero limit to how high you can climb, what you can achieve. There are literally no limits on. And here's the thing, guys. By putting that life to death, you remove, you don't limit how high you can climb. You get to keep the strength, the resiliency, all the knowledge that you've acquired in your life by dealing with addiction or whatever you're dealing, right? Obviously, anything you've been through, right? You've learned things, you learn lessons. You learn how to be strong because you're still here, right? You get to keep all these things with you. You don't have to put to death everything about you. You get to keep the knowledge, the experience, the strength, the resiliency, the wisdom that you gained, right? Along the way, street smarts. You get to keep all that, right? And that's with you. That's literally crystallized in your DNA. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to keep my notes so I get the whole message out here, but I'm not at the same time. I'm not going to read from the script. You know what I mean? But if you failed in recovery in the past, and or just being, or if you failed in recovery, or you're just trying to be in a higher position, right? So oftentimes people are going to use what you've done in the past against you, and I mean that's just life. That's how it is. It's not necessarily fair. But here's the thing: when you're willing to do the work to put that old version of you to death and become a new person, this is what I mean by being the best version of yourself. And this is why you got to show up. You got to find that best version of yourself, and you got to show up being that best version. Because when you do that, when you shed these wounds, you put down addiction, you show up as a completely new person, the best version of yourself possible. You can't erase what you've done in your past, but you can overcome it. You can eliminate it, right? Because now, when you show up in this best version of yourself and literally become a new person, I'm sorry, guys, I'm getting lost in there. And again, how do you do this, right? It says what it is. I'm skipping ahead here. All right, so how do you do this? For me, there's two very clear messages that you're going to see in all my videos. Number one being faith, surrendering to God, finding your higher power, developing a relationship with your higher power, right? And two, actions. Action that starts with healing, leaning, learning, reflection, and becoming the best version of yourself. Exactly. If you do those things honestly and truly, right, and literally, don't just say it, do it. Find the things that aren't the best things about you and change those things and come from a place of love. Be good to people, right? Be honest with yourself. Be honest with others. Admit your wrongs. Overcome the things that you've done. Apologize. Forgive yourself, right? These things we talk about all the time. But when you do that, right, your past becomes an asset because no longer can somebody say, well, he or she, is this or did this, right? Now, when you become that new person shows up and you've done the work, you've healed, you've apologized, you've owned it, you acknowledging it, right? That now becomes an asset because now instead of saying, well, he, she did this or is this, they have no choice but to acknowledge he, she, whatever your gender, whatever however you identify, overcame this. Look how far you've come. You used to act or react this way. You used to do this thing, used to this, and now you're doing this thing, right? You acknowledge, yes, I had my problems, I had this, but I've done the work. I've healed. I've become this new person. I've become reborn. Now, guys, now keep in mind when I say reborn, you do not hear me say a reborn Christian, a reborn Muslim, a reborn Buddhist, reborn Hindu. Religion has no part of being reborn. That is not what I'm talking about. I'm not here. You will never hear me preach organized religion. I'm actually quite against organized religion. The kingdom of heaven is from within. Anybody ever tells you otherwise, they're looking for money. It's as simple as that. And I'm not looking for money, guys. I'm not here trying to sell you anything other than yourself. I want to see you invest in yourself. I'm not looking for an investment here. I work to make money. This is my passion project, guys. This is what I do, right? I'm not trying to sell you anything other than a dream that you can achieve through yourself. You don't have to buy any guru, coach, you know, I mean, and don't get me wrong, if you have insurance and you have access to, I have a recovery coach, I have a recovery advisor, I have all these things because my insurance allows that. It's the beauty of Massachusetts. Everybody's situation might be different, but Massachusetts, they have a lot of resources, and I'm taking advantage of all of them. I'm not hanging on to anything I don't need, and I'm not trying to take out of somebody else's pocket, but at the same time, I'm taking advantage of the opportunities that I have to change myself and better myself. And I'm doing it for that reason, to better myself, and this is why I'm talking to you guys. And you know, guys, keep in mind, part of doing this holds my feet to the fire, right? If I'm on here online preaching this stuff, and I'm out there not walking it in my day-to-day life, it's going to get called out very quickly. So part of my reasons for doing these things are, I love to help, and I want to help people, and I want to make a difference in people's lives, and I want to be known for that. I want to put that 40 years of shame that I have on my shoulder to bed, and become known for this instead, because this means everything to me. But at the same time, it also keeps it in the forefront of my brain and reminds myself on a daily basis that I have to go out here and walk the walk, talk the talk, and also I have to research the information that I'm doing in these videos, and it just makes me a better person doing so. I'm learning myself every day, and I might slack off on myself because it's, again, you know, we're human nature, right? If you lose interest in it, you're going to start. I'm afraid I don't ever want to go back. I'm never going to go back. I don't want to go back. I'm never going back. This is who I am now. It's literally changed my life. God has shown me the demonstration. I am the miracle because he changed who I am. I am literally a different person, and you can be too. Now, whether you need to make as many changes as I had to make or not, that's up to you. But don't be afraid to put that version of yourself to death. It's so fucking freeing. It's so worth it, right, guys? So, again, you know, when you do that, you can no longer use your past against you, because, you know, your past becomes an asset, and that's what people look at me like. The whole point of my testimony and putting all those raw, horrible, embarrassing truths is twofold. I want you guys to know what I've gone through, and let you know that you don't have any shameful experiences that I don't have, that I was able to overcome, so you can overcome it. It's literally the power of your brain. It's how you choose to look at it. It's how, within reason, it's how you choose to use it, right? I'm using it as an advantage because now I'm taking all that shit that I did to show you guys how far I can come from that, to let you know that you can do the same thing. And I have. I'm not saying how far I can, how far I have. Guys, I've reopened my business. I'm thriving today. I'm putting things together very quickly, and I have zero shame. I have zero fear. I have zero anxiety. I know that I've survived 16 prison sentences. I've survived dying twice. I've survived high-speed car accidents at 120 miles an hour in a telephone pole. I fear nothing. There's nothing anybody can do or hold over my shoulder, because I put it all out here online. There's something very freeing about that. Let go of fear and shame, guys. Your history is what got you here, right? It made you the person you are today. And as soon as you change that person into the best version of yourself that you can be, you get to be proud of everything, because it's no longer what you did. It's what you overcame. It's what you survived. It's what, you know, you gain strength and knowledge and wisdom from, okay? And that's it's a very powerful point of view, guys. It's a very, very powerful change of scenery, okay? Again, we're coming up on time. I still got 2 more. No, we're getting there. All right, no, not bad. Anyway, regardless, I should worry less about the time. But I'm just trying to keep this thing short enough that I can keep you guys engaged. I know I probably get a little boring listening to after a while, right? I'm not pretty, and I don't have a great voice. But anyway, it's what it is. I love who I am, and I love what I'm doing, and that's why I'm doing this. So again, I'm gonna reiterate this one more time, guys. Take the leap. Become born again. Now, when I say born again, I did not put any religious inference on this. You don't hear me say Christian, Jew, Muslim, Hindu, Buddhist, etc., 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 because it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, your God's my God's your God. It's all God. However you choose to portray your God, that is between you and your God. You know, your relationship with God is your relationship with God. My relationship with God is my relationship with God. So long as your God is a positive, you know, loving God, and that's clearly what it is, because it wouldn't be growing us all out here. We're not here eating each other, right? I mean, you know, the universe, the planet's not smashing into each other. The God that put all this together is clearly a very benevolent and loving God, right? I mean, every religion, you know, preaches forgiveness, right? That's what we want. We want love. We want forgiveness. No, none of this damnation and hellfire and brimstone, all that. That's all bullshit, guys. Anybody that says otherwise is looking for fucking money. It's simple as that. And I'm not saying, and guys, religious people, don't go all up in arms with me. I'm not downing religion. Unfortunately, though, in order to perpetuate religion, ends up being about the dollar, and that's where it ends up being wrong, right? The money takes over the message, and that's the problem I have with the organized religion. And anyway, we're not going to make this about religion. It's your personal relationship. Remember that, guys. Being reborn is not about religion. It's about being putting to death the version of you that carries fear and trauma and hurt and wounds and anxiety and resentment and all that. You got to put that behind you. You cannot rise to the level you want to rise to while you're carrying that shit on your back. You got to let it go. Okay? I can't say it enough. I've said it a million times. I'll say it a million more. And anybody that says anybody that says you got to be born again Christian, again, they're looking for money. Let it go. Okay? So, being reborn in my definition simply means shedding all the behaviors, beliefs, wounds, traumas, fear, resentment, anxiety, animosity. Let it all go. Find love for yourself because there's plenty to love about you. Every one of us are good people at heart, right? We have our issues. Nobody's perfect. I'm certainly not perfect. I'm pretty fucking far from it. But I love who I am. I look at who I am and I understand that I want to help other people. I want to overcome. I want to put things together. I want to be part of a community. I want to uplift other people. Like, I want to take fucking people back from the devil, from addiction. That's pretty cool, man. I want to help somebody broken down on the side of the road. There's nothing wrong with that, man. That's not a bad person, right? I'm not a bad person. I found deep love for myself, reverence for myself. I respect not all the decisions that I made, but I respect the fact that I came through it and I kept a kind heart and never turned evil, never turned mean, never tried to get over on people directly, you know what I mean? I'm not proud of every decision I made in addiction, and you got to let that shit go because that's not you and your clear mind. When you're medicated out of your mind, you don't make rational decisions. Nobody does, and nobody's perfect. Everybody's done things, but I've never had a spiteful, mean bone in my body, and I'm proud of that, man. I love that about myself. Find the things that make you proud about yourself and extent, work on those, highlight those, lean on that, right? No two people's stories are going to be the same, and no two people's paths are going to be the same either. But if you find your loving, benevolent God, develop a relationship with it, become the best version of you possibly can, and then work on finding out what lights up your heart. Work towards that, right? You're never going to be happy if you're, if you don't have the aptitude to be a doctor and you're in there trying to be a doctor, you're going to be stressed out of your mind, right? Like if I tried to be a doctor, I'm never ever going to be happy. So I'm finding the things that are in alignment with who I am. And so long as you work on those things, the things that are in your aptitude, the things that are in alignment with who you are, and you follow your passions, and then you try to be good to other people, bring that best version of you to everywhere you go. Try to make every interaction you have with somebody else, have them walk away better for it. I promise you, your life is gonna be second to none. You're gonna find success in every area of your life, which is exactly what I'm finding. We're keeping up on time here, so I think we're gonna leave it at that. Guys, give yourself a shot, man. The best investment you were ever going to make is investing in yourself. You can invest in everything else in the world, and you can pour out and help everybody else in the world afterwards. But you got to invest in yourself first. You got to get yourself to a stable spot where you love yourself and you're able to grow and add, and you can carry a hell of a lot more that way. And you don't have to carry an 800-pound gorilla up a fucking hill all day. Okay? Guys, thank you so much for being here. Again, it means the world to me. Please hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Leave me a comment. Let me know if there's something you need, something I can do for you. God loves you. I love you. Thank you so much for being here. We will see you guys in the next one. Be safe, get help, help somebody else. Thank you.